everyone, scriptable here and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're actually creating a simple health bar system in Unity using a slider, and whether you're building any platformer or any type of game which does not include racing. I mean racing technically does include some form of health bar, which is like that service thing, that thing in Need for Speed where it's damaged or something. But anyways, it's most likely that you'll probably need a health bar if you're making a game. So yeah, here's what we're actually building. A working health system which is connected to a slider UI. I went over this in my part 7 Unity tutorial series. So yeah, every time the player takes damage or heals, the health bar updates. And the best part, we're keeping it simple. Also keeping it clean so you can easily adapt it to your game. I recommend actually watching my scriptable objects tutorial if you haven't, but if you have seen it, then you already know how awesome they are to actually, reuse data and all that. So I highly recommend using scriptable objects. Start that practice now if you haven't already. But yeah, for this tutorial, we're using that character scriptable object right here. If you hover over create and go to character, this is what we're actually using. We created this earlier, so let's actually quickly revisit its script. Here it is. So as you can see, we have max health right here. We can actually adjust this accordingly to how we want. So in this case, the scriptable object holds the player's max health as 5 as the default. We can, save the script and create a new instance of this in Unity. I'll actually delete this one for now because we don't need it. Yeah, right click in the project panel, then create a new instance of this character and call it player character. Let's do that, and we can adjust the health. We'll just put it as 100, which is a lot, but it is what it is. So alright, so this will act as the player's health data along with its speed and all that. So I'll just adjust all this accordingly. But yeah, now let's actually create our health system. I actually already have a script here which I'll edit. We're gonna create a new script called health manager, and in this script we want 2 public variables. One is the public character variable, which stores the player character instance, and the other is the slider, health slider. And make sure you have using Unity engine.ui so that because we don't want whatever this is, we want slider. So as you can see, now it works. And then of course we want a private float current health. So what we're actually going to do is attach the script to the player character in the game. We'll actually create a new 3D object in the scene, call it cube, or let's call it player. And we'll go back to Visual Studio because we're actually going to let's attach the script real quick before I forget it. And I'll add this player character here, and we'll create a slider eventually, but let's finish the script for now. In the start method, we want to set current health to character.health. And we also want to set the slider's max value actually, to the character's total health, and we know its max health is 100, so we'll just do character.health again because it starts at 100. And then health slider dot value equals current health. So whatever the value is right now, it will be set to that. And we don't need this update method for now. Instead, we'll actually create 2 public methods called public void take damage, and we'll call it float damage. And you can guess what this does. The current health will actually decrease based on how much damage is done. So you can actually use this for, if you're setting up enemies, you can use this method in that enemy script, whatever it is, and apply some parameter, some value of the damage based on what enemy you have. Then we want a special line called current health equals mathf.clamp current health. And we can kind of autofill this, but let's actually adjust this one though. And I'll explain what this is in a second, but just follow along for now. The value of the health slider, meaning where it's at right now, will be what the current health is at. And that's adjusted based on this. And then I guess we can also do if the current health it's always safer to do less than or equal to 0 than equals 0 because we don't know if the health may go below 0 or not. It's harder to determine if the health will be exactly 0, especially if the damage is some odd number, you know, and let's say you have 1 health left and the damage done is 3. So if you subtract that, it will not be 0. So we can just say less than or equal to 0. Then we can do debug.log player is dead. And then we'll add another method called public void heal. And we'll use keys to have these methods working in a second. So current health plus equals heal amount and current health. So we're actually copying this line again. So it will be adjusted. Then health slider dot value equals current health. So it's pretty much the same. It just does the opposite. Overall, it's the same functionality and all that. I'll explain what we do overall in this script. First, we reference the character scriptable object in the slider for the health bar. In start, we initialize the current health and set up the slider, whereas the take damage and heal functions handle health changes, updating the slider and clamping health value to, avoid negatives or exceeding the max health. Let's talk about what this line is. Basically, for mathf.clamp, just imagine that you have a box with a bottom and a top, and you can only put things inside this box if they fit between the bottom and the top. Anything too big or too small gets, clamped to the edges. So in Unity, mathf.clamp kind of works the same way, except it's just for numbers. It keeps a number like health within a range by making sure it doesn't go below a minimum value or above a minimum value. So this first parameter we have here is its current value. The minimum value is 0 here, and that's the second parameter. It's the min. And the third one is the max, which is the character's max health. We have that set already because, it's in that scriptable object. Let's say your health, player's health is between 0 and 100. We can use mathf.clamp like this. If someone else is reading this code, they may be like, okay, what? So let's say I put 100 instead. They'll be like, okay, what is this 100? Is this like, they may not know exactly what this is, but when we have variables in it, like in this case, we can just have character.health. This is a lot more self-explanatory. They'll be like, oh, this is the character's health. It's the max health that's being stored in this. And then it will make sense. Anyways, be sure to save this and then go back to Unity and then go to the hierarchy, right click and create a slider under UI. So slider it is. So we can see the slider right there. Call it health bar or something like that. Now we'll probably have to clean up a bit. So we'll have to delete the handle because we have this thing right here. We don't want that to be adjusted by the player. So let's delete this. And since we already have this player object, if you haven't already, make sure to create it. Then attach this health manager script to the player and then drag the slider over as well as the character scriptable object. And yeah, now let's add some quick controls to test our system. So let's go to our health system script or health manager script, and I'll actually add this a snippet, small thing in our update method. So I'll just add an update, and what we'll do is if we press a certain key, we'll actually use one of these methods. So I guess we can do if input.getKeyDown, key code.space, then take damage, and we can do 10. And same with, so basically get key down, I mean, this is kind of beginner stuff. I explained this in an older video, but this is basically if you just press down the key, not hold it or anything like that, or if you let go, just pressing down, as simple as that. And same with if input.getKeyDown, we can do H. We can do heal keycode.h, then heal, I guess we can do 5. So that's how much we'll heal by. So let's save this, go back to Unity, make sure it's all set, and also make sure the health bar's max values, probably set it to the max one right now. The health is probably 100. That's our max one. And let's hit play. Let's see what happens when we press spacebar. We can see that it goes down every time, but when we press H, it is working. So you notice you have to spam the key, and now we got the player is dead in the console. You see, it's pretty helpful, you know? And there you have it. That's a fully functional health system with a working slider. So this setup is actually pretty simple and easy to expand upon, which is why I made it simple. Of course, this isn't how you make it in an actual game, but I just provided like the blueprints of one. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to, you know, subscribe and all that stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. If you needed help, what I could improve on, I'd really appreciate that. I won't take offense, because I'll be honest, I can learn a lot for you know, for the tutorials. I'm no brackies or anyone like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.